Good afternoon. This is Ellen Stevens Newton, and getting ready to do another wonderful show of Relatively Speaking. My guests today are Corinne Hodgdon Breyer, her sister Cindy Hodgdon Smalley, and their wonderful mother Joan Teague Hodgdon. And we're going to be exploring the Hodgdon family. We're going to be exploring some green leaves. We're going to throw in the Hodgdon family and anything else we feel like talking about. The whole idea behind this program is to encourage people to share their family histories and hopefully encourage other people to become involved and share what they know about their families. So welcome, ladies. I'm thrilled to have you here.
Thank you, Ellen.
I'm very excited to be talking about the Hodgdon family because I've just, growing up in this area, there was never a bigger family than the Hodgdon family. And Joan didn't want to wring my neck when I was on Barter's Island. I'm very thankful for that. So anyway, ladies, I'd like to know, first of all, how long ago did you start doing genealogy?
Oh, it was probably a couple years ago, I think. Don't
Well,
we,
it was
Mom?
it was more than that because
3 or 4.
we did it for 2 years, and then I was laid up for that year.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so must have been 21, 22, I think, that we
And
did
what
it.
we did, Ellen, was we decided on a day during the week, a time, and we waited till after the holidays. And then we were every week met at Mom's house
On Wednesday.
on Wednesday, and we had 2 cousins that joined us, Masha Gamage and Becky Roberts. And then we also had a cousin on my mother's side, Kathy Orn, who is a genealogist, and she helped us a great deal. It's been a lot of fun. A little confusing at times. Kathy and I were the research people, and so we would do our homework and then come on Wednesday, compare notes, and decide whether we had done it right or not. And then we kept our family sheets. All of us have family sheets to keep track of everything, and so it's been fun.
Even when you go down the wrong path.
Yeah. It is interesting, rabbit holes. They're
It
deadly.
is.
They're
It is,
deadly for
definitely.
genealogists. So did you have any particular family that was more difficult than others, or were they all difficult at times?
They were all difficult at times. The Hodgdon family, because the names down through the generations were the same. We had like 5 Thomases, the Benjamins. There were a lot of Benjamins.
Right.
And Caleb's. There were several Caleb's as well. So, we just had to take our time, pay attention to dates. Dates were very important to make sure that you had especially when it came to the children of those people. You had to make sure that the dates were the correct dates for the children to coincide with the parents.
Exactly. And did you find that you had to rely on census records or town records more? Was there any particular type of records that you found to be most helpful?
The census records are helpful for the later years, but we also had, Mom had some information on the Hodgdon family from the family Bible. If you're fortunate enough to have the family Bible and they have kept the records through the years, I have that for my husband's family, and they kept perfect records right up until my husband and I were married and had our children. But we also had books that we referred to because the Hodgdons were from Westport. The information on Westport and the books on Westport were very helpful. This particular book here that Mr. Swanton had written has a great line of the Hodgdon family that were there on Westport, Jeremy Squam at the time, and then they, of course, moved over here to the Boothbay region. And then this book here, the Genealogy of the Descendants of Nicholas Hodgson, Hodsdon at that time, from Hingham, Mass. And Kittery, I came across online, and that has the first 5 generations of our family, of our direct line, that we referred to, and that was of great help as well. And then, of course, we had Kathy, who has been on Ancestry and a lot of other websites,
Right.
to help us along the way.
So I'm not sure if my computer is online now. If it is, and you can see it, hopefully you can, there are 9 Caleb Hodgdons that I have been working on in my file, and they range from 1786, 1982, 1870. So when you're talking about the fact that there are a lot of Calebs, there are a tremendous number, and some Calebs lived just in Maine and others in New Hampshire, and it gets a little squirrely after a while. You start to see numbers swirling in front of you, and it gets very confusing. And another thing that I found was difficult was that mostly in the 1700s, early 1800s, if people had a child that died, they might name that child John, and the next son they had, they would name John.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah, we
And
found
so the town did not necessarily know if that patient or that child had died, and so it looked like the family had 2 Johns, and we're desperately hunting for both Johns, thinking, what's the matter with that mother? But so that gets very confusing
It
as
does.
well. And everybody has the same problems. It doesn't matter who you are or how many times or how many years you've been doing it. It's just difficult sometimes to walk through it. So Joan, you were born a Teague, but you're not from here originally.
No, I'm not a native, I'll have you know.
Yes,
I
we've adopted you as a native.
I've been here since I was 4 years old, and we moved here in 1940. And the reason we moved here was because my father was an automobile mechanic, and he came to work for Dewey Spofford at Central Garage here in Boothbay Center.
Yeah.
And so the Spoffords were the first family that we were acquainted with, and so that's the reason that we came here to Boothbay.
Well, we're glad you did.
So, of course, I met Richard Jr., and so we've added to the Hodgdon family a little bit.
Yeah, and you have 2 other children.
I have 3 other children.
3 other children, correct.
2 others other than these, yes.
Yeah,
I gotcha,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, another daughter and a son.
Yep. Dorinda and Tyler, correct?
Right.
Yep. And Dorinda is where now?
She's in North Carolina.
And Tyler?
He's in Boothbay and neighbor to Cindy.
Lives just up the road from me.
Yeah, good. So tell me about, you have brothers and sisters?
I had 2 brothers, they're both passed.
Okay.
Yeah, Philip and Frank. Frank being the oldest, and Philip.
Did they both live here?
Yes.
Okay. And the Teague family, how far have you gone back on the Teague family?
I think back to the 1500s.
Uh-huh. And did they stay mostly in Nobleboro?
Waldoboro.
Waldoboro, Nobleboro, Warren. When I'm doing this, I take all the brothers and sisters.
Waldoboro
so-
and Warren, yes,
Yeah.
of Maine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And some families are good sized, and others just 1 or 2 children. But
Yes.
that's
like-
all it takes. Is
and my
1 or 2.
my grandmother only had 4 children, but her husband died young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was her name? Your grandmother?
Izzy.
Izzy.
Yeah.
Izzy, and it's ISA was the way.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
And Mank was her maiden name. Correct.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, Corinne, your middle name is Delma, right?
Correct.
Named after your
Grandmother Hodgdon,
grandmother Hodgdon.
my father's mother.
Yeah, and she was a Greenleaf,
She was.
and they came from
Westport.
Westport Island. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty easy to travel if you're just crossing a river.
Right, exactly. Took them by boat. It took them 15 minutes to get to the Boothbay region.
Yeah. And did you find any interesting people in the Greenleaf family?
I would say probably Stephen Greenleaf, Captain Stephen Greenleaf. They called him the Great Indian Fighter.
Yeah.
And so he was easy to get information on. Anyone that is of his caliber, they're easy to go on the internet and find information on. And he got that name just because he was the French and Indian Wars and
Right. And from records that I found, he was quite a strategist.
yes,
As far as fighting was concerned, and they called him the Indian Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, and you don't happen to have that photograph that I gave you?
No, I
Or
didn't
that
bring.
painting?
I didn't bring the Greenleafs. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
He did not fit what you would consider to be a model for an Indian fighter. He was quite round and long flowing hair, and his ascot was always in place, but apparently he was able to do it, so maybe he just rolled around on them. Who
Well,
knows?
perhaps maybe in his younger days he wasn't that round.
Exactly. So, Delma is, do you know where that name came from?
I don't specifically know where that name came from. I thought probably it was the only name in the Hodgdon line, Delma, and we didn't find anyone else in our direct line that was named Delma, but there is a Delma that lived in Portland that was a Hodgdon and part of the Hodgdon family here. But she lived in Portland 25 years before she passed. And that's the only other Delma that I'm aware of. Do you know what it is?
Yeah, well, yeah, but that was Delma Hodgdon because Delma was a Greenleaf. So.
Right.
But it's things like that that make doing genealogies interesting. You think, well, where did that name come from? You know, so then you kind of search things and you find out who's who.
Yeah. And it is interesting when you are working on a family and you find a group of people with names, and then you go another 2 generations back and you see the same number of names or the same almost in the same order in a
Right.
family. And it's actually the Scottish method of naming children. It was an actual format that was followed. So, and a lot of these people that we're talking about have Scotch-Irish
Right.
ancestry. So, the Day family, Charles Day Greenleaf, was Delma's dad, and the Day family was a very big family at one time on Southport and in Boothbay Harbor, and seems to have thinned out a bit, but and his wife was Blanche Barter, and we know that the Barters haven't thinned out much, like the Hodgdons. There's still a herd of them here, so it makes it very easy to figure out after a while who belongs to who, but
Right.
sometimes it is a trial. So are there any people that you remember, Joan, that were of particular interest in the family? Anybody who did, Revolutionary War soldiers or?
In my family, we spoke about it the other day, Conrad Heyer. He was Revolutionary War. He was a more or less of a important person in the town of Waldoboro, and they had their 250th anniversary in 2023, and he was the highlight of the celebration. And supposedly, according to some information, he was with Washington when Washington crossed the Delaware. There is, of course, people that say, well, no, he isn't, but I think he was, for the information that I have. And so he was kind of a celebrity of the town of Waldoboro. And the information that I have says that he was the first white boy born in, I think it was North Waldoboro, but then others say he was the first male child born in Waldoboro. So,
Yeah.
you know, you get conflicting stories like that. So,
And that's H-E-I?
H-E-Y-E-R.
H-E-Y-E-R, okay. And anybody that you found interesting, Cindy, in your involvement in this?
Well, I found the process itself very interesting, even when you get down the wrong path.
Yeah,
It was just a challenge, and it was fun.
yeah. Did you get down the wrong path frequently?
Well, not that frequently, really.
Yeah.
We had a few times.
Yeah, yeah. Any surprises?
I don't think there were any surprises.
I don't
to
think
you.
so, no.
I mean, as far as the Schweppes go in the family, always knew that the Schweppes were around the Hodgdon family. They'd come to the homestead and stay a lot. We didn't know what the exact connection was, because my father's middle name is Schweppe, and his father's middle name was Schweppe. And so we did, doing genealogy, we figured out the connection to the Schweppes, and so that was interesting.
Tell her about the
But we knew of them, always knew of them growing up. Daddy would always speak of them.
And I'd
just
ask
say,
my husband, where did you get the name of Schweppe? I don't know. It's just people that used to come to the house all the time. So,
Corinne, you need to tell
Yeah,
Ellen
the story you
about
at
the
work.
club.
You were at work.
Oh, yeah, well, so I've worked at the country club for the last 10 years, and so one of the members of the club, his name is Schweppe, and he is from Squirrel Island. And he just came in one day and made reservations for dinner and said what his first and last name was, last name Schweppe. And so I, wrote it down, and he said, "You know how to spell Schweppe?" And I said, "Yes, I do." I said, "My father's middle name is Schweppe." "Oh, really?" he said. And I said, "Yes, it is." But he didn't know the connection either. And so just over time, when he would come in, we'd say a few things to each other. And so he found out that I knew of the Schweppes on Westport and where the cemetery was and all that sort of thing. So he asked if he could meet with us, with Mom. He was interested in finding out what the connection was himself. And so we did. We met. He's a very nice man. We met and compared notes that Mom had. Mom had pictures of his, some of his ancestors. And then we told him of the connection with, because Emmeline Jewett Hodgdon, she had married into the Hodgdon family. That was her second marriage. Her first marriage was to a Schweppe. And she had a daughter.
oh, wait a minute.
Okay, did I get that mixed up?
No, her first marriage was to a Jewett.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And so she had a daughter when she married,
Correct.
was the second wife of S.G. Hodgdon.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, and she had a daughter, Eva.
Right. Who married a Schweppe.
Right.
And so that's where the name Schweppe came from.
So this
And so
Eva,
they were-
the daughter, and your father's grandfather were half sister and brother.
Correct.
So that's where we're blood related, I guess.
Exactly. And so your and the Schweppe family was so close to the Hodgdons that they, Eva, when she married, named one of her sons,
Yes.
Yeah.
Charles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she had Richard also.
Yep. And I'm just trying to find them on my thing.
But they were a very prominent family in New Jersey.
The Schweppes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the same, they call it Schweppes now. It's
Yeah.
like the Schweppes root beer, ginger ale, excuse me.
Yeah.
But that's how it's pronounced, is Schweppe.
Yeah. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
So, so Richard Schweppe, born in 1899, was your husband's father, and was your husband was one of 9 children, correct?
No.
No. My husband only had 4. I mean, he had himself, Carlos, Blanche, and Stanley. His father had
That's what
9.
I mean.
Oh,
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
father, yes.
Yeah, had 9.
Yeah.
And Louise, Emma, Walter, Stephen, Philip. I believe Philip is Becky's
Grandfather.
grandfather. Yeah. And Ruby, Richard, Edith, Dorothy, and Olive.
Okay, I think Emma and Louise are the same person.
Emma Louise, we talked about
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, Emma
yes.
Louise, yeah, yeah,
Never heard her called, always called her Aunt Lou, and never heard her called Emma.
yeah. And I've seen documentation of her, and she's listed as Louise Adams. And that was her mother's maiden
Right,
name,
exactly.
Adams. So I don't know if she ended up that lucky girl with 4 names or not, but and that's another thing that you run into when you're doing research is you'll see a child be named, just for instance, Emma Louise. There are records of an Emma Louise Hodgdon, and then Louise Adams Hodgdon, same birth date, same family, and you know, it just depends on who was doing the writing down of records. And it's also, census records are famous for that. You see them, and they're named by a nickname, and the nickname is in there, and it's like, wait a second, is that really William Budd, or who is that exactly? So, and and Stephen Hodgdon is was the father of your husband's grandfather, and he was born in 1820 and was married on Westport, and but came to Boothbay and stayed, and he was married to Emmeline Parsons, and Emmeline Parsons is one of those women who had a different nickname.
Okay, so she was Emmeline Greenleaf.
Emmeline Parsons Greenleaf.
Oh,
Her middle name was Parsons.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay, all right.
And it's like, I haven't yet figured out who the Parsons was that she got that name from. So,
No, we haven't either. We haven't gone that far.
yeah, because her mother, her grandmother was Mary Knight. So it's impossible to tell where all of these names come from. And there's actually a record that I found, and I have it under her mother and father. Her name was actually Mary. She was called Mary Emmeline P. Hodgdon.
I think we have that in our
Probably,
records
yes.
too.
So
It's
whether
Mary
or not she
Emmeline.
was
'Cause that was
born and named Mary Emmeline, or whether somebody just said, oh, she said, I'm going to call myself Mary. Who knows? It's hard to tell how that all
right.
works. So, do you have the records on how far back you have? Who's the oldest Teague that you have?
The oldest Teague.
Yeah.
I don't have Teagues. I'll get it, Mom.
Well, it was back in the 1500s. It was, and his name was Richard, I believe.
Richard Teague, yeah. Yeah. So while you're looking that up, Stephen Greenleaf, the great Indian fighter, he was born in 1652 in Newbury and fought there, and was the father of Stephen Greenleaf III. And He had 3 children that I have located so far, and but he held a pretty high office, if you will, in Newbury, and was very well respected and very well known in that area, aside from being the great Indian fighter. He was, and interestingly enough, his wife's name was, or his son's wife's name was Maccaries or Macrest. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen the name, yes.
Yeah, yeah, and it's Macrest, M-A-C-R-E-S-T, or Maccaries, M-A-C-K-E-R-E-S. And I haven't been able to follow.
Very unusual.
Yeah, it's a very unusual name. But Benoni, which is one of your
Right.
Hodgdons, her father was named Benoni Macrest.
Oh.
Yeah, and she was born in 1690 in Salisbury, Massachusetts, and her dad was Benoni Macrest. And they had, and she married Stephen Greenleaf and had Samuel, Ebenezer, and Joseph. And yours is Samuel.
Correct.
Right. And then the line goes up through Samuel and Hepzibah Preble. And their son, yours is Stephen as well, is another Stephen. So like the Caleb's, Stephen was a very popular name, and not easy to follow, not easy at all. And interestingly enough, the Mary Knight that married Stephen Greenleaf is, I'm descended from her on my mother's side of the family.
Oh, really?
Yeah, her family, yeah. Yeah, the Knights, same family, so.
Okay, so you asked about the last Tig.
Right.
It was the birth, we've got around 1500. When you get back that far, it's hard to get
yeah.
And that was a Thomas Teague.
Thomas Teague.
And his wife was Margaret Walken, I can't read my own writing, W-A-L-K-E-N-D-E-N.
Walkington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there were 3 Teagues that were knighted. It was Sir Richard Teague, Sir Nicholas Allen, A-L-Y-N Teague, and Sir John Allen Teague.
Do we have to bow to you?
Yes, didn't you realize that?
Wow.
I forgot your crown, Mom.
Exactly. And that it is interesting, isn't it? It's
Yes,
just-
it is.
Yeah, you think how is it we had 3 knights in the family, and yeah, yeah. Maybe they were related to Mary Knight. They weren't really knighted.
Maybe
They
that was
just said
it.
they were. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, are there any other people that you found interesting or have a tale to tell about?
The only thing is, I get a kick out of it every time I think of it. When my husband was just a little boy, his grandmother, I'm not sure if it was his grandmother or his great-grandmother, who was Aurelia somebody or other. Anyway, she always told about the Indians coming up the river because they lived on the west side of Batters Island. And she always told about the Indians coming up the river, and they would hear them coming, so they would leave the house and go out in the woods.
Yeah.
And so the Indians would come in the house and they'd strew flour and everything all over the place and use the pots and pans for their bathrooms. And so when they left, they'd have to go and clean up the mess. And then another thing was one of his grandmothers, there again, I'm not sure if it was his grandmother or his great-grandmother, told him that the name of Batters Island came from the Indians battering with the batters. For Batters Island, for a jug of rum and something else, and he never could remember what the something else was. Well, I think that was just a little story that he was a little boy, so I think that was because the same thing was Squirrel Island. Squirrel Island's the same thing, jug of rum and something else. So.
Yeah. That's funny. That is funny. I know there are lots of funny stories about that sort of survive for years, and nobody is like, how do you remember that? How did you find any funny names that you?
Oh my goodness!
A lot of funny
A
names.
lot of funny names.
Yeah. So tell me some.
I don't know as I can
gracious.
remember them.
Well, Benoni's not very common.
Yeah.
No.
And it was a very popular name, Benoni at
Thankful.
that time. And yeah, thankful.
Thankful Greenleaf.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And there was more than one thankful.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that either
No,
until
I
I thought
didn't.
it was, she probably was the only thankful.
Right.
But there were several others that were thankful
Right.
as well.
Joshua. Is that how you pronounce it? It was Tyler's wife.
Oh.
No, it wasn't Joshua. It was,
Um,
well, anyway.
hold on.
Yeah, I have an ancestor who was a thankful, and also a great great aunt, and her name was Bloomy.
Oh,
I
gracious.
have no idea what was blooming, but anyway, that's what they called her. So. But it is interesting the names that.
Mahitable.
Mahitable. That was
Yeah.
a very common
Yeah.
name for a certain period of time, and now you hardly ever hear it. And Hattie, there were several Hattie Hodgdons.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and that's a name that sort of went by the wayside, but I have actually a very dear friend whose daughter's name is Hattie.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, every once in a while those old names pop up.
Prudence was another
Right.
Yep.
unusual name for a girl.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Prudence and Patience. That was another one
Yep.
that we've got here.
Yeah, El Nathan and Hezekiah, all of those names
Yeah.
are,
Hepzibah.
yeah, Hephzibah is really, yeah,
Mahitable.
yeah. So, Silas Lee Hodgdon and Fred Hodgdon descend from the same line of Hodgdons that your husband did, and
I think we have a sheet on Silas.
yeah, yeah. It is interesting how the names just continue down through the
From generation.
generations, and they're still today still being used, which is I find it sort of nice to know that that the old
Well,
names are there.
when we named Tyler, I didn't realize that was a family name.
Yeah, Tyler Hodgdon.
Yeah, but Hope Hodgdon's because father was Tyler. And
Right.
and the girls were in school with her.
Yeah.
She was their teacher at the time. So she thought we had named him after her
Yeah.
father.
Oh, no
So
wonder they got good grades.
Yes, that's true.
Brown nosing.
When
Oh,
Hope
that's
was
true.
a teacher, if you were Hodgdon, you had it made.
Oh, I'm telling you, I know Hope, and I didn't have a Hodgdon in my family, but yeah, no, absolutely. So you girls had Corliss, Blanche, and Stanley as aunt and uncle.
Correct.
And how many first cousins do you have?
Oh, gracious sakes.
My sakes.
Yeah.
Stanley had, Blanche had 3. Stanley
Stanley
had
had
4. Corliss had 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
4.
And so how many is that?
That's 11 so far.
Yeah, yeah. And they've all married.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
All of your cousins have married, as you all have, and you've all had children. And so, for me, this is part of the problem with my project, is that I can go from my generation, our generation, back, but going forward is impossible because I don't have access to public records that would have their names and ages and birth dates on file.
Right.
So that's why I'm encouraging people, if you're interested, to please let me know, and we can compare notes, and I can correct mistakes that I've had, and be able to share the information that I have, because it's important to keep this project going, and to keep these I once read a thing that said that family historians don't just keep track of numbers, they breathe life into those that have gone by, and it's true. It's really true. I remember your dad well, and I remember your aunt and uncles, and I remember older members of the family, and your husband's cousins, and so when we talk about it, it's like all of this sudden these people come to life again, and we can share stories that I didn't necessarily hear, but I can see people in them, and it's wonderful. So I can't thank you ladies enough for coming on the show. It's been wonderful.
Well, thank you for inviting
And
us.
I'm really excited to be able to continue to share information and make sure that we get it down and get it down right and get it out to people that are interested.
Right,
So
right.
thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
So that's the end of this particular show. However, it's not the end of the ongoing project. And please, if you are interested, if you have a wonderful family to share, please contact me and share that, not just with me, but with the rest of the community. This is our community. Thank you very much, and I'll see you at the next show.